So it's closing night of the Capital Irish Film Festival, and I'm here with Hilary Rose, star of The Young Offenders. I think the first thing that everybody wants me to talk to you about is the importance of film festivals and taking this film on the road and being able to answer people's questions. How valuable is it to be going to different film festivals with it?
Massively valuable, I would say. I guess, filmmakers make films for an audience, so if it's not getting seen by an audience, then it's kind of pointless, So yeah, taking it on tour is massively important, especially a festival like this, Capital Irish Film Festival, which is it's such a lovely festival, and it's really celebrating contemporary Irish work in the States, which it's just really good to know that there are people out there that are doing that, because obviously we celebrate our own work at home, and we have some really great festivals as well. But yeah, it's lovely to be out here and meeting people as well.
Did you get the short end of the stick? Where's Peter?
No, I didn't get the short end. I got the trip this time out. So we kind of share the responsibilities. He might take one trip, I'll take another. So I was very happy to take this trip. It was very nice, and I felt, when was I going to be in Washington again? So
good comedy is really hard. I just wonder if you can just talk about comedy and what goes into making a good comedy.
A good comedy to me is comedy that always looks effortless. And that is probably the hardest one that you're going to do. I mean, there's amazing American comics like Kristen Wiig, I just think is incredible. I think she makes everything look really natural and effortless. So yeah, it's a tough gig. I think from a writer's point of view, you'd probably write a screenplay, write it dramatically, and then add the comedy afterwards. That seems to work. It seems to work really well to do that. But yeah, it's hard then to get the comedy right, because if you start adding jokes in afterwards, then it unravels your screenplay, and it's a whole quagmire compared to drama. So yeah, it's a tough one to get right, and I think you might meet some amazing actors who just don't have a comic bone as well, so that can be kind of tricky. And also we did a lot of improvisation, so we would do our regular takes, we would do improvised takes, and a lot of those actually improvised takes were used in the film as our final cut, and that was really nice for the performers as well, because it kind of almost validates your own comedy and your own input. So yeah, that's the way we worked it.
So when you first saw the script and you saw that your job in the film was working in a fishmonger's, did you say to Peter, that's not funny?
Yeah, I mean, when I saw that, I kind of went, oh, God, he's going to make me do that, isn't he? And he did. So he was like, okay, we're going to get you into the fish stall. You have to look like you know what you're doing inside there. So I spent a whole day in there filleting fish and working behind the counter, which was tough enough because I was pregnant. So I was stifling morning sickness the whole time. I was surrounded by, odours. So yeah, I was made to do that. And yeah, like you said, I wasn't sure where the comedy was coming out of that. But I mean, it's not, in the end, it was really about, the dialogue and, the different gags, and there was a couple of different improvised gags that actually really worked with fish in the end. Like the sucker fish joke was just a kind of an on-the-spot one, so it worked, hopefully.
Can a movie like this break out big, or is it destined to just be a big hit in Ireland?
I would think, I guess it's kind of been rolling for quite a while with us. Like it had its premiere last July, so that would have been July 2016. So it feels like it's kind of ongoing for us. So it's still in some cinemas in Ireland, which is quite incredible, from September until now. And then it got released in the UK in January, and that really gave it a new lease of life again, because it was being reviewed then in the UK to a fresh audience. So it was being reviewed by Mark Commode's BBC, it was being reviewed by The Guardian and The Times, and we had kind of almost forgotten about it a little bit because it was after Christmas, and then all these reviews came out and we just felt, oh my God, yeah, this has legs to travel again. So it has distribution pretty much worldwide in really obscure countries as well that you wouldn't think would have a market for it. But I think no matter what, there's always a market for comedy. So initially when we first did the film, we thought, great, if we get it into one or two festivals and maybe win an award, it would just put us on the map and get us in the direction we needed to go. And we really had no idea that it would do what it did. It became one of the top-selling Irish films in the Irish box office in 2016. So, and it is always the little joke that it beat Star Wars in one particular cinema. So that was, we were chuffed by that, and we loved Star Wars. But
how difficult is it to work with your husband? Are you ever off?
Yeah, look, we've worked together for a very long time, so we kind of ironed out all the difficulties, most of the difficulties in the very early days, and if you decide that you need to work with somebody, then you kind of have to do that. But yeah, it can be stressful, because it's hard not to bring home onto work and work into home. But it's good. It's really, really good. And, now that we have a child, it's a really good that we keep our family unit together because it can be very fragmented in this industry. So we're very happy that we work together.
Somebody mentioned, they were real happy with the Mia song. I was thrilled with the Sultans of Ping. I may be the only person in the audience who knows who they are, but always one of my favorite songs. So how did that end up in the movie?
Yeah, amazing. Well, it's such an iconic Cork song anyway, because Sultans of Ping were just, when we were growing up, they were, oh my God, the Sultans of Ping, they were so famous, and they're amazing musicians and they still do amazing work. But yeah, I think he always had it in his head he wanted to use that song for something. So, it was perfect in the kitchen scene. It worked really well. So it was great. Yeah, I'm glad you know the Sultans of Ping.
Last question. Sequel?
Oh, it would be lovely. Couldn't possibly say, though. I don't know. Who knows? There's a lot of talk. Would you do a series? Would you do a sequel? So I don't know. We're talking about it, but we'll see what happens.